What up, this Rap HITZ. And so YG has come clean about his role and what was going on with Drakeo the ruler, and if he has slumped him, because Drakeo was unalived in December 19th of 2021 during an incident that happened backstage, and it was at a show called Once Upon a Time in LA. And so Drakeo was 28 years old, and now the police are questioning YG and his crew about what happened that day. And YG had released a song about a month ago before he got picked up by the police. And in that song, he explains his side of the story.
Say I murdered this, and say I murdered that. Well, if that was true, you'd be a rag, and I'd be in the cell sleeping on the rag. But too bad that ain't a rag. All that talking on the app. The streets done, you're so rap. They want to send you for the city whack. Same ones brought the city back.
And I don't know if it was smart for him to put that song out, because he is saying a lot, and it's better to really say less if you're in street activity. He must have took that playbook out of the drill movement, like Dirk and all them, when they're saying Dirk was talking about real bodies and real stuff that was happening. Well, YG, he made a song and video, and this song is called We Know the Truth. And so in that song, he pretty much breaks down his side of the story. Of course, he's denying his role in that situation, but he does say a lot. So check out that song if you get a chance. I'll leave a link in the comment section in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. And now YG is in a lot of trouble because the feds is looking at him. Well, it's really the police, but you know, they're trying to figure out what happened that day and if he was involved, because a lot of information has been coming out about this incident, and there's no statute of limitation when it comes to something like this because it was a body involved. So now that they're figuring out more information, YG is one of the main suspects in that situation, and it sounds like they're saying he was at least a party to a crime, and his identification has been coming up. People are saying what he had on, and it's matching up with some surveillance footage and all that. So we're going to get into some information. And so it's interesting how YG was detained before his show with The Game, where they had this verses.
But the most interesting development was YG getting detained while the police did a search warrant. And the brief detainment shows, you know, how far along this investigation's at. Now, I can tell you this. When judges are signing off on search warrants, it means that there is probable cause. So you need probable cause for a search warrant. A judge has to review what you have as probable cause. They then make the determination, hey, we're going to allow this search warrant. So I think we have to be realistic and say whatever investigation they have going on, not saying that YG is a target of it, but they do believe that they had some probable cause to search either him, his car, his phone, or whatever he was the subject of the search warrant for.
It looks like he got released from custody in time to do the versus show with The Game.
Hey, gang. Hey, I almost ain't make it to this. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look. I almost ain't make it, but I'm in this. Oh, hey, I woke up. TMZ said, I said, oh, blood. No. Chin up, chest up. What's that? I get blood immediately. Blood said, hey, you almost kill me.
Try to get my gotta be quicker than
that. Come on, hey.
And so I would suspect that YG probably didn't say anything. You would think that's his move. I mean, if he's being questioned by the police before that show, I'm surprised they didn't keep him. And so with them not keeping him, that shows me that they still need to uncover more and more information. So his arrest could be coming anytime soon, or it might not be coming, depending on how this investigation goes. With YG being now identified as being part of that whole altercation, though, there's a good chance he probably gets arrested soon, and it might even be a RICO. And the funny thing is, with that versus show, they say that WAC 100 is managing Game, so it's funny to me how WAC 100 didn't want nothing to do with that versus. From what I understand, he's saying that he fell asleep or something. He didn't know it was on either. And this is his manager. So WAC 100 distanced himself from the game, and YG versus Battle Plus, WAC distanced himself when the whole Ray J thing was going on with the boxing situation, and Ray J was getting investigated for possibly throwing a fight. So WAC 100 knows how to stay out the way when things is going on like this, and that's smart of him because he doesn't want to get caught up in no RICO situation, because WAC 100 looks like he's on a path now that is more business orientated, and he doesn't want nothing to do with the street stuff anymore, it looks like. So WAC 100 stayed out the way when it came to that whole versus battle, and I found that interesting. But let's get into this eyewitness account of what happened that night.
Draco, and they let us go. They would then ask him what the 10 to 12 people were wearing, and he would say a lot of red shirts, red jackets, red ski masks, red gloves, red shoes, just everything. And he would tell them they weren't only just wearing red, they were throwing up gang signs with their hands. And he would notice that they were throwing up the B. And he would explain that they were all taking pictures and that there was a cameraman that was standing behind the cars, just taking pictures. And he would say he was watching his surroundings because he knew everybody knew Draco's vehicle. They would then ask him, when he observed the individuals in the van, was it his understanding that that was YG's crew? And he would respond and say yes. They would ask him, entourage or group? And he would say, yes, I saw YG. He was in front of everybody taking a picture, as if the group was standing behind him and he was singled out in the front. They then asked him what was YG wearing, and he would tell them a black ski mask, black shiny jacket, black pants with a red stripe going down the side, and black shiny shoes. They would then ask, so the other guys were wearing red, correct? And he would say yes.
And so we see that this eyewitness account is saying that people was in there backstage and they witnessed the whole thing. And he's saying there was a whole lot of people wearing red and throwing gang signs and all that. YG was identified as being there. Sounds like that's why he's getting picked up and talked to by the police. And not only was he there, but they're saying he was a participant in this situation. They had described YG wearing all black with a mask on and a hoodie and having a knife. So there's also surveillance footage of this situation, but let's hear some more from this eyewitness and then we'll get into the surveillance footage.
Then tell him that eventually they parked their vehicles and everybody would gather around. And as they were walking to the gate, Draco turned around to go put something in his vehicle. He would tell him that he forgot what it was, but he believes that it was a bag. And he would say that as they were walking to the vehicle, he would notice that the 400 camp was walking towards them. But he would say that Chief and Heavily also went back to his own vehicle to put something inside of it. But he would say that him and Draco and Chief and Heavily went different ways. He went with Draco, and then Chief and Heavily went a separate way. But as the group regathered, Chief and Heavily would tell him that there was an attempted robbery on his chain. And he would say that after that, Draco said, "What the F? Hell no," and immediately ran back towards the pink lot. Draco's security said that he tried to grab him by his shirt collar, but wasn't able to get him. They would then ask him if he followed Draco to the pink lot. And he would say, "Yes, I immediately tried to grab him." They would then ask him, "Then what happened? Did an altercation ensue?" He would then tell him yeah, but he still wanted to do his job by protecting Draco, and that he didn't want to grab him and fight with him, knowing that all the people were coming towards them. He would then say that the brawl broke out, and he would hit the first person coming towards them. And he would tell him that he also brought a knife in that night, but it was inside of Draco's Rolls Royce. They would then ask him how many people were they fighting, and he would say 20 to 25 people minimum. And they would ask him if he recognized anybody in that group of 25. And he would respond and say, "I only recognize one, YG." And they would ask him, so he was directly involved in the fight? And he would say yes, front and center. He would then say how Draco was standing by his side when he was fighting YG and YG's bodyguard. And he would say that YG produced a knife from his left hand. He would then say that when he seen that, he backed up and Draco was standing by his side the whole time. He would then say that more people began swarming and they would attempt to fight off while backing up. They would then ask him, "So you witnessed YG, who you recognized produced a knife from his sleeve, correct?" And he would respond and say yes. And he would say that he just saw the blade, he didn't see the handle, and that it was a silver blade, almost like a shank made in prison. He told him it was about 3 to 4 inches long, and he was slashing it at him. They would then ask him, did he witness any other knives in the melee? And he would say, yeah, there was a guy on the left of YG that had a knife also. And they would ask him to describe the knife, and he would say the same thing. And he would say you can tell they had a knife because nobody swings a punch like how they were doing in the video.
And so we hear the eyewitness talk about the 400 crew being involved, and that's what YG was referencing in the song when he was talking about Slim 400, the one who had got on alive. So like I said, make sure you check out that song, We Know the Truth, that YG put out. Like I said, links in the comment section and description box, because this is connecting a lot of dots now. And so in the eyewitness account, we're hearing how there was a large fight and that YG was identified as being front and center in that fight and seen with a knife, like we said earlier. And he was actually not just seen with it, but according to this eyewitness, he was using it. And it sounds like he was fighting the security guard. So it must have been Drakeo, the ruler security guard, that he was fighting with. And it sounded like he might have been taking a few swipes too with that knife. And so this is when they're saying somebody had caught Drakeo lacking and took him out. So it really doesn't sound like YG was the one that took out Drakeo, but it sounds like YG was right in the middle of everything when somebody had took out Drakeo, because they said there was another person with a knife as well. Let's check out this surveillance footage.
Stripe going down the side, and black shiny shoes. Black shiny jacket, black pants with a red stripe going down the side. Black shiny jacket, black pants with a red stripe going down the side. Black shiny jacket, black pants with a red stripe going down the side.
And so we see YG is being described as wearing a black shiny jacket with a red stripe going down the side, some black shiny shoes. And so this matches up with this dude with the mask and hood. So this is what obviously took so long for them to contact YG, is they needed this eyewitness account of YG being identified wearing the same clothing as they had in the surveillance footage. Because without this eyewitness account, this is just a random dude that was there with a hoodie and a mask. And so when you have the eyewitness describing exactly what YG was wearing, now you have enough probable cause to deal with YG. So that's why YG's getting talked to now by the authorities. And I'm not so sure he's going to be able to talk himself out of this, because like I said, even if he didn't take out Drakeo the ruler, this is a situation where he's being implemented as being a party to a crime. And so with Drakeo getting slumped during this situation where YG was front and center and involved, that's probably going to be enough evidence to at least book him on some type of charge. But the reason why I think that they're hesitant on booking YG right now is they probably want more evidence. So they're probably gonna have to get some cell phone technology where they can maybe pin his location as being there. And they already know he was there. I mean, he was already there for the show, and YG already put out a song saying that he was involved. So he's not really denying that he was there anyway. So at this point, I mean, they probably just want more evidence, because if that is YG that they have on surveillance with a knife and a hood and you can't really see who it is, that's where they're hesitant, I think, to pick up YG, because they really want to make sure they have enough evidence, because that's going to be a tough one, because, you know what I'm saying, no face, no case at that point, right? So they're really going to need some solid witnesses to really identify YG in that whole situation and really determine who was the aggressor in this situation and if there's any self-defense involved or anything like that. So yeah, they're putting the pieces together behind the scene, and we'll see if YG ends up getting picked up on an arrest warrant soon. And so I'll keep y'all posted. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe, and look, sign up to Rap HITZ social media and all that. Sign up to Rap HITZ free email newsletters. All links are in the comment section and description box. And if you want to check out my secret members only videos, you can become a YouTube member for as little as $1 and gain access to all my secret members only videos. I'm out. Click my affiliate link in the comment section and description box if you want to purchase this Bluetooth boombox for the low.